Hello. Welcome to Sportsbeat After Hours. I am your host, as always, Hema Jr. And by my side, we've got the infamous Sean Walker.
Have I lost the title?
Oh, I don't know.
Have I lost it?
We change it every week.
What did I do? What did I do to anger Hema Jr. that I'm no longer the Internet Jesus?
The Internet Jesus.
You didn't die for our sins.
Wow.
You didn't die for the internet sins. Sorry.
It's
Sins.
It's a good thing we're on church property. Otherwise, I would fear being struck by lightning right now.
And then chiming in with the sacrilegious banter, our local lovable Canuck, Zachary Hicken.
Sorry.
Well, okay, so we closed probably the last riveting week of sports. No, that's not true. But the finals just got over this week, and we were kind of scraping for things to cover.
But
today.
On the bright side, sports are now over for 2018, right? Sports are done. We're done. We made it.
We've got a baseball guy here.
Oh.
And aren't you guys technically soccer guys?
That's true.
I mean, there's kind of like a big tournament coming up that I know that nobody really gives a crap about because the U.S. isn't in it. But
yeah.
All I know is that the MLS is on an international break right now. I don't know why, but MLS was on an international break for some reason.
For all the talented Brazilians we have.
I think it has to do with the women's national teams getting ready for World Cup qualifying.
Yeah.
I think they're respecting that.
Sure. Which is a smart move because
2019 France, the only World Cup we need.
Their league's better than our U.S. men's team for sure.
So much better.
Not a hot take. That's just the truth, man.
Hey, we should give an achievement to the U.S. U23s though. Masquerading as a senior team, 1-1 draw at France.
Yeah, they scored a goal in France, which we never did.
Yeah,
ever.
That was cool. Julian Green.
Unlocking
that achievement.
Yeah. I mean, it was exciting when he scored, and then it was just like, oh, I forgot we're in France playing France,
playing a World Cup tune-up.
Yeah.
Congratulations, guys. Let's
achievement unlocked.
Well,
so
right,
yeah,
that's a wrap. Thanks, guys.
That's a wrap on soccer in the U.S.
Most of the sports that most Americans care about pretty much wrapped up last week. NHL finished up Thursday, and Capitals won on Thursday and Friday. The lame part of the NBA 12-year calendar ended, and now the most exciting part begins. It's the NBA offseason where it seems like more goes down in the NBA offseason than goes on during the regular season. I mean, we saw what happened in this last week with Brian Colangelo, possibly the biggest NBA story of the year.
Hilarious,
the day before the finals,
the
and then he resigns.
Yeah.
He resigned on Thursday, which is just wild, or maybe it was Wednesday.
But never actually admitted fault.
But
it was tied to his wife.
Allegedly.
No.
It was tied to his wife.
Well, allegedly.
Yeah. But do you buy that? No way.
I don't know if I do.
If he's feeding her information, I think that we got to do that. I mean, so I think we say happy trails to Brian Colangelo, and we crack him a cold one. And
let's crack a cold one.
Pour one out.
In honor of Brian Colangelo, former Philadelphia 76er executive.
Trust the process.
By the way, I just wanted to mention that I brought the cold ones this week. What do you guys think? They're Lily Koi passion fruit juice.
Dude,
not a sponsor, but we're listening.
Not a sponsor.
We can listen though.
They're freaking delicious.
We're looking for our first sponsor, so
yeah, Lily Koi.
If
you want a Hawaiian sun,
hit us up on your burner Twitter accounts and sponsor our show.
Hit up our burner accounts at Rod Zundell
and at JJ Sportsbeat.
Let us know.
So like Zach said,
at Impet3.
Oh, McKay.
At Impet3 is my burner account, guys.
So, yeah.
Send me all your dating advice there.
I'm super excited for the offseason because of all the speculation that we do and everything that could possibly the possibilities are endless, right?
Well, here's the thing is, so I felt like there was always this hype building up with the like the NBA trade deadline, the NBA draft, free agency, and everything. And I feel like finally, probably in the last 3 years, I mean, I think obviously it changed with LeBron, but I think KD going to Golden State completely flipped the NBA upside down, and now like anything is possible, like Kevin Garnett said. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we saw, Gordon Hayward have botch his free agency and
Right.
commit to the Celtics and then not go and then say he hadn't committed and then
Still not over it,
end
by
a
the way.
5,000 word
Garbage.
letter article column in
Blog
a matter
post.
of like 2 hours.
Yeah,
blog
calling
post.
you out, Players Tribune. Blog post.
And yeah, I mean, I just think it's so interesting. I mean, we saw so much movement last year, even starting with Boogie Cousins at the trade deadline, creating what was expected to be a super team, pairing up with Anthony Davis and Drew Holiday, and then Boston gets 2 superstars in Gordon Hayward and Kyrie Irving, and then we just don't know what's possible for the Jazz this offseason. I mean, honestly, like anything could happen besides LeBron coming to Utah. I honestly think like anything is possible.
Oh, that's true.
I
think
feel like on that note, I gotta let you guys know. We got a little breaking news. Guys.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
LeBron James is signing as a free agent with the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh yes, the king is coming to Zion.
As
guys.
first reported by Hema and his awesome Photoshop job. Go follow it at KSL Sports if you haven't seen it by now. Also on Instagram. LeBron James coming to the Jazz, guys. How do you feel?
I saw a lot of those Photoshops. A lot of them were great, by the way, and it's so much fun. But there's no way in hell LeBron's coming to Utah.
No, absolutely not. I mean,
yeah, there's not.
The next stage of his career, I listen to The Ringer a lot. I listen to their podcasts. I'm a big fan of what they do.
There are other podcasts besides this one?
There are other podcasts besides this one. We didn't originate the podcast.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you at all.
The Ringer has been on it for a year that LeBron's going to L.A. I still think he's going to go to L.A. There's some noise about him possibly going to Houston. If he goes to Houston, that's even more lame than KD going to Golden State.
As a Ringer podcast fan, you should like this one. I think LeBron's going to go to Chicago State. The Titus and Tate coached.
Yes.
Chicago State.
Yes.
Cougars.
No, I think what is here's the thing. I think there are 2 very likely free agent destinations for LeBron James, or some sort of movement. Let's make it 3: Boston, Houston, and LA.
Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to think about. I think LA. I have heard Houston, Boston.
Doesn't Houston still need to clear up enough cap space to be able to attract someone like LeBron, though?
Yeah. They lose Ryan Anderson and their center this year.
Capella.
Clint Capella is a free agent.
Utah Jazz killer.
Utah Jazz killer. Clint
He was
Capella.
Great. Even if even if they do clear up cap space, like how is that going to work? LeBron on the point, like Harden.
Well, here's
at
the
the
thing:
2?
it would be such a LeBron move to go with a freaking aging point guard who is probably past his prime and can't stay on the court he has to be managed because he gets injured pretty easily.
Yeah.
AKA playing with George Hill this last year and the teams he put together in Miami when he won championships.
That's true.
He was surrounded by aging vets. I think that Boston and LA, those have got to be the 2 most attractive free agency locations for where he's going to be. I think with Boston, to clear the cap space, they have to do a sign and trade. So maybe goodbye Gordon Hayward. He's going to get sent to Cleveland, which
Makes sense.
That would be pretty funny.
That'd be hilarious.
But I mean, Kyrie and LeBron teaming up again with with Tatum, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and Al Horford.
Oh yeah,
they have legit 5 all-stars.
That would be pretty crazy.
That would be a great team. Or he could go to LA and play with our boy Lorenzo Ball or Lonzo.
Kuzma?
Sorry, Lonzo and Kuzma.
I thought you were making a Sunday joke. Like, anyways, Lonzo, Kuzma, who I think is awesome. You know, wherever he plays in the future, I wish he was in Utah. Would be really great.
He's one Laker I wish was a Jazz man.
Oh, absolutely.
So let's talk about. I mean, we kind of strayed away from what we were originally going to talk about here, but who is most likely going to end up in Utah on free agency? They basically.
What are we looking for? We're looking for.
They need a stretch 4.
Right.
The Jazz need a stretch 4. So that makes me think, probably going to part ways with Derek Favors.
He did great in the playoffs, and I love that guy. But he might be the piece that we need to leave, especially if we got a healthy Rudy Gobert back and we need that stretch 4.
Well, here's the thing is I think at this point in Derek's career, he's said that he's not going to take a hometown discount. He could go to a team like Brooklyn, Charlotte, somewhere on the East and be a star and go make an all-star team as their primary guy at the 5. He's never going to be the primary guy at the 5 with Rudy Gobert here.
Mm-hmm.
Did you really just say Brooklyn?
Yeah. Atlanta, maybe.
Am I the only one who finds this a little bit ironic?
I guess Jaleel Okafor. Well, yeah, and I guess that's where he came from. But.
I mean, it's just I'm not saying you're wrong, by the way. I'm not saying you're wrong at all. Yeah. It's a little ironic.
Yeah.
It's a little ironic how badly then New Jersey wanted to get rid of Favors. Right. And now if they really are in the conversation like that, I think that's
they were trying to build a team that could win a championship right away.
Sure,
and they got completely burned.
Sure.
But I mean, somewhere like Atlanta where he's from, maybe Charlotte, I don't know, Brooklyn, somewhere where he can be the guy, because he's an offensive threat. He can stretch the floor a bit. He has a good mid-range jumper. He's not going to be a guy that's going to stretch the floor out to the 3-point line.
Which is where the game's headed. So
yeah, so if he's going to be your primary option at the 4, Jay Crowder was the guy getting the minutes down the stretch in every close game that the Jazz played, where Rudy was available and Jay was available. So you have Tabo coming back. I think he has a team option. Jonas Jerebko has a team option. And there's one more guy I think that has a team option. So
the other Aussie.
The other Aussie is
which one's the other?
Starts with Dante.
Oh, Dante Exum. Yeah, sorry.
Ends with Exum.
Well, I think that they got to bring Dante back. Sorry, I thought
technically on a team option though. I believe he's the 3rd.
He's at the end of his rookie deal.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to be an interesting offseason for the Jazz. I think that they could maybe move a guy like Alec Burks.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but as far as free agency, I could see them kind of parting ways with Derek Favors and maybe going after a guy like Paul George.
Ooh.
And we saw Donovan Mitchell this week.
We heard whispers.
He posted National Best Friends Day, picture of him hugging Paul George. And there's been a lot of conversation about Paul George being a guy that Utah could target maybe for a couple of years before he goes and finishes up his career in L.A.
Yeah.
I would just like to intersperse right there. Donovan actually talked with a certain ESPN insider.
The ESPN insider,
yeah,
correct?
The ESPN insider.
Who
the
else?
Internet's insider, if you will. On the Woj Pod this week, actually, about attracting a guy, say, like a Paul George, to a place like Utah. Let's listen to that real quick before we dive any deeper.
You talk about that team you have in Utah and this core you have going forward. They could do some things with this roster to create enough salary cap space to go get a big player. If you were a big free agent right now, wouldn't you look at the possibility of teaming up with you and Rudy Gobert and saying, let's take that big 3 and go play anybody. Can you recruit? Do you think your job now over the next couple of years is to start? Can we make the Jazz? Can we make Salt Lake a destination place?
I think so. I definitely think so. I was the lead recruiter at Louisville. I think I signed with, what was it, 4 or 5 guys before I left. So I think I can recruit some guys. Coach P and Coach Kenny Johnson taught me some things. But I think, why not play with us? Like, you look at what we've done, you look at how we move the ball. Guys, we play with guys that don't care who scores the most, who rebounds the most, who has the most this, who's the most that. We play with guys that genuinely want to win. And I think if you're a free agent that wants to actually win ball games, and actually get to the finals and not just doing it for show, then where you want to be. And if you want to get better and develop, and we have the perfect coaches for that, because you look at Gordon Hayward, but between rookie year and then him becoming an all-star, it's night and day. Myself, this season, it's night and day. You look at the first 10 games of the season, look at the last 10 games, I don't even recognize myself, So you can only imagine what we'd be able to do if we, had that one big piece, which would be great. If not, then, like I said, we trust our abilities to do well. But it would be great to have that one piece like you're talking about.
I heard your buddy Paul George might be a free agent in July.
Yeah, he's due. I think it's in July 1st. So
I think that's the date.
I'm definitely going to have that conversation. So.
When you go back to Greenwich, I know you went back and did a basketball camp around your hometown.
So that was Spider D, Donovan Mitchell with Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN on his podcast. Go check it out if you haven't by now. I'm assuming the whole free world has at this point. But let's discuss that. What do you guys think? I mean, does Donovan have a point? Are the Utah Jazz an attractive option for a, shall we term, true priority free agent, I guess, this NBA offseason?
I think so. And I don't know if it's the Jazz goggles or if it's actual fact, but I look at it this way. I think I'm being pretty objective. The Jazz completely turned this year around, which is not easy for people to do. The Jazz made the playoffs, as we all know, and the Jazz beat the Thunder, who are a great team. In fact, I think we could have beat Houston if we had Ricky Rubio healthy. But I think that is attractive to people that are looking to win, that are looking for teams with a future, and the Jazz have a bright future. Donovan Mitchell, we already know the story. Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert. We got some young guys off the bench that are pretty darn good, like Royce, Dante Exum, who's healthy now, which is awesome. I could see someone coming in, a star, just to plug him into the game, maybe have veteran presence to help us get to the next step, which is Western Conference Finals. All that is really attractive, and then if we got cap space, even better. Paul George is looking for that cash, looking for a strong team that's not going to fall apart in the playoffs. I think the Jazz are them.
Well, and he's going to fit into the system perfectly, too. I mean, he's possibly the best defensive guy on the perimeter in the league. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head who's any better. He is going to be able to play.
He's certainly the best free agent this summer.
Yeah,
in
certainly
defensive.
Defensively, he's the best free agent. He can stretch the floor. He's going to be playing next to a young superstar. He has an elite rim defender, elite rim protector playing beside him. I know he's kind of more of a natural 3, but I feel like he could fit in at the 4. And what this
kind
of
a stretch for, if you will.
Well, and what you could do too is just depending on what they do with Tabo, you could put Tabo or Royce at the 3, Paul George at the 4, and then bring Joe Ingles off the bench to kind of lead that unit off the bench in scoring. This is just all speculation, but what it does is it gives the Jazz so much versatility. You can even put Jay Crowder in at the 4 and Paul George at the 3. I don't know. I think that this makes the Jazz a championship contender with that move.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know there were some meshing issues with Paul George in Oklahoma City.
Oh, and Westbrook.
But it has to do with Westbrook, you know.
Right.
So we'll just see what happens, and I'll keep my fingers crossed that it's Paul George because I think that he's by far the best option. He's got to be target number 1. They have got to get him in his house, lock him, get the doors locked, and keep him in there until they can get a piece of paper signed that he's committed to the Jazz. You know.
Just FaceTime him, mate.
Yeah.
Just FaceTime him.
Yeah.
You don't.
And, yeah, priority number 2, I think, I don't know if this is number 2, but try and find a way to bring back Dante Exum because I don't think he's reached even near his ceiling.
Where he's supposed to be, at least.
Yeah, I know that he's been a disappointment so far, but he's missed pretty much 2 full seasons with injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Only played 16 games last season, and you just see so many flashes of, like, hey, this is why this guy was a top 5 pick.
Right. That dunk.
Well, and he's got such a quick first step. I don't want to give up on Dante yet. You know, I just don't want another disappointment that they drafted at point guard. Trey Burke broke my heart.
Yeah.
Alec Burks, you know, he's a good ISO guy, but hasn't exactly been what you expect out of a guy at that.
Yeah.
A lottery guy, and I want Dante to be great. I want him to be great.
Yeah. So like Paul George is probably the best case scenario in the real world. Do you guys have any other
Again, LeBron James probably not coming to Utah.
Probably not.
Sorry, guys.
Most likely not.
Sorry.
But
sorry, Rod.
You're saying there's a chance.
But there's always a chance. We will cling to that chance forever.
Okay, so we already know that we need to get a good signing. We got the draft coming up. Did you guys get a chance to check out the mounds and mounds of talent that have been rolling through?
Well, I cut all the VO and SOTs for the guys that came through this last week, so I had a chance to see. I'm more concerned. I know that we're looking at the guys that are probably going to be drafted around 21, but honestly, I'm kind of looking more at what's at 14 at Denver's spot because I know that Denver is always ready and willing to trade for an asset with Utah. So, no, joking aside, I know this is going to make a lot of people angry.
Okay.
I think the most intriguing guy, he's not my favorite guy, the most likely guy that they might get, Grayson Allen.
I'm so glad you went there.
I know. I'm so glad.
I'm so glad you went there.
He's not who I want. For the record, I want Eli Okubo. I really like this Okubo kid.
Yeah.
He's a scorer. I will get into that. Let's talk Grayson Allen first.
Okay.
Though.
I love Grayson Allen. I mean, not his personality, but I just like his aggressiveness. He's talented. He can shoot. He can distribute. He can go to the rim. Like, I want a young guy that can actually get aggressive at the rim.
Well, and the thing is, too, is I think that he's kind of underappreciated because, one, he's white, and two, his age.
That's true.
I mean, he was at Duke for 4 years.
Yeah.
He had opportunities to leave after his sophomore year, after his junior year. They kind of dipped a little bit because of his interesting plays that he had.
Right.
Let's flat out say he played dirty his junior year.
Yeah, he's dirty.
He's a competitor. He gets after it, and sometimes he lets it get the best of him. That happened a couple times, but yeah, with Grayson Allen, I actually kind of like that pick.
Yeah.
He's not my favorite guy there, but I definitely wouldn't be upset, and I think that he's a good asset that the Jazz could have, and if they feel like he's not ready to play at the NBA level, sign him on a 2-way contract and have him play with the Stars, you know?
Sure.
Have him come back and
See
forth.
how he does. And to be fair, he hasn't had any incidents in the past year.
Had 0 his senior year.
Yeah. So I think he's maturing. I think he's learning how to deal with that side of his game. But I feel like that, with him and like Crowder, can you imagine? We will have like the Bash brothers on our team. Like,
can we get PJ Tucker while we're at it?
Oh, make this happen.
It'd be amazing.
Make this happen.
We're just like,
I feel like I got to stand up a little bit for Grayson Allen as the college basketball guy on this podcast too, because I would love this pick. First of all, I would love if Grayson Allen still on the board at 21. I'm not entirely certain he will be.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he'd fit in really well in a Quinn Snyder system. I feel like he'd fit kind of.
Quinn Snyder's another Duke guy too.
Yeah. Another Duke guy, yeah. You got that connection going on, obviously. I feel like he'd fit in really well in Salt Lake City.
Mm-hmm.
And no, that's not an ethnicity joke.
White.
That's not an ethnicity joke entirely. He kind of has that sort of like non-big city type vibe.
Sure.
I mean, he spent 4 years
He's
in
not
Durham
Hollywood,
of all places.
right. Yeah.
I mean, Durham. Have you ever been to Durham, North Carolina?
No.
Okay, don't. I'll just leave it at that. But on top of that, so Grayson Allen has his reputation from his college days as a dirty player, which stems from realistically about like 4 or 5 incidents, mostly in the latter part of his sophomore and into his junior year.
Right.
The reason why he garnered that reputation was all retaliation. He never went out of his way to be a dirty player, to trip other players, that kind of thing. Guys were guarding him super dirty. He was, and you can ask just about any college basketball junkie over the last 4 years, he was one of the most athletic defenders at Duke ever. He was always...
and that's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, he was always...
really well at the Combine.
Yeah, 40.5-inch vertical at the NBA Combine.
Because he's white.
Yeah, 40.5-inch vertical. The best vertical this year, by the way, 42 inches by Dante DiVincenzo. Also white.
Another white guy.
Yeah,
exactly.
We'll talk
Racist white guy.
Yeah, very. Yeah, we're all racist here. Everybody's a little bit racist.
Wait, hold on. Let me delete all my past tweets real quick while you guys are talking.
Emma, you're good, dude.
But yeah. So I mean, so he's supremely athletic. He's an incredibly good defender. I mean, he's a Duke guy. He's a small market type guy. I think he is the prototypical Utah Jazz draft pick.
And you know what?
In so many ways.
Also a great fit. His dad is a very prominent conservative, coming to a conservative state.
You mean Ted Cruz?
Yeah.
No,
That is
I knew
his
that
dad,
was,
right?
I thought we were gonna get through this without a Ted Cruz.
Sorry,
joke.
I have to make it because every time I freaking see him. No, Sean, I think you might have me sold.
I think so, too.
I still like Eli Okubo though. I really
He's
like
great.
what he brings in a second unit. You're gonna have to say goodbye to Howell Neto, I think, if you bring him in.
Which I'm fine with. That's not.
Howell actually had a
take.
pretty good playoff run.
Yeah.
Though, I felt like
He fits a nice niche on the bench. But if
just
you've
don't
got
get rid of David Stockton. That's all I ask.
that's fair. I think that's totally fair.
He needs a couple years to develop, and by develop I mean put on like 20 pounds, because he looks like he's gonna get tossed around.
Yeah.
If he ever
No,
gets any serious time.
so the one downside about Eli Okubo is, his position as a point guard, and they want to see him as a distributing guard. He's kind of more of a natural scorer. So maybe he could be that 2 that comes off, kind of play a combo and play with both Ricky and Donovan.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's interesting.
He shoots the lights out, man. At least from the Euro tape that I've
scored
seen.
44 points in a game
Crazy.
at the professional level, which is just insane.
Professional. We should air quote
Air
that.
quotes.
Yeah, that's
At
true.
the professional level.
That's
Air
the thing
quotes.
about Europe is we just never really
You don't know.
like what is going on in these leagues. Like something funny I found out. So you know how like the Ball brothers went to Europe? They were
Right.
playing in Latvia or wherever.
Yep.
They were actually, so they had like the Ball Big Baller Brand Challenge. What happened with this challenge is LeVar Ball was bringing in teams of like high school AAU kids from like basically like the equivalent of like an AAU team from like different countries to come in and compete in this and say that they were like professional teams. And his kids were dropping like 60 points a game on these teams to make them look legit because they're broadcast all over Facebook,
Right.
on YouTube and everything. And it turns out they were playing against like 14 and 15-year-olds.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Which I guess with LaMelo, sorry. With LaMelo, that's the same,
Sure.
kind of his same age. But with LiAngelo, do I got that right? LiAngelo's the middle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, LiAngelo's like a full-grown man. He's like 20, and he's
Right.
he's built like a freaking linebacker. So, anyway, yeah, this whole I'm excited for the draft. We're,
Me too.
I guess 10 days away now. With it's now Monday, so 10 days away.
Yeah, we're getting close.
Yeah.
I can't wait. We'll see what happens. Like we were talked about earlier. We'll just quickly, Dante DiVincenzo came through. What are some other big names? Who who is this point guard? Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson, 2-time National Player of the Year.
Jalen Brunson.
Both these guys probably off the board by 21, right?
Oh yeah.
Possibly. Most likely.
Yeah. So lots of great talent came through. I can't wait. It's gonna be awesome.
That's good.
It's good. Let's see what else happened this week.
Well, we got going on right now. Kind of taking a turn from big pivot from sports to our next favorite topic, video games. E3's going on right now.
Next favorite?
That's right.
Yeah.
This is first favorite. Come on now, son.
Sorry, my bad.
Come on.
We're not on your level.
Get it right. Get it right.
E3's going on right now. Let's see who's gone already. Microsoft went today. Yesterday was Electronic Arts. Bethesda went today. Tomorrow, Sony and Square Enix are going. Squaresoft. And Tuesday, what I'm most looking forward to is Nintendo.
Yes, sir.
So it's pretty interesting right now.
Hot titles dropping for Nintendo.
Yeah, I'm a pretty big gamer. I have both a PS4 and a Nintendo Switch. So I'm really intrigued at what's going to be coming out this year. We got a confirmation for Kingdom Hearts 3 coming out January 2019, just after the holiday season. We have Fallout 76, the 5th game in the Fallout series, was kind of announced today, and it looks like it's going to be – they've packed a lot into this game, Bethesda has. We got a Halo announcement, not too much detail about it. Yeah, big map. The map for Fallout 76 is 4 times the size of the map in Fallout 4.
Jeez.
Big maps.
Which Fallout 4 was massive. I was saying this before
That's an achievement.
That is an achievement. I was saying this before we went on the air. I couldn't finish Fallout 4 because the map was too big. I had a hard time with it. But
do you think
I'm
that's
excited.
the thing now? Like, they're just going to start making
Absolutely. You saw what they did
maps.
with Zelda?
Yeah.
The new Zelda, Breath of the Wild, was absolutely massive.
Yeah.
It was huge. It takes like an hour to get across from one half of the map to the other if you're just running.
Right.
But it's a fun game.
Well, and I really think the trend toward these really big maps and like lots going on and creative graphics and like maybe has something to do with a certain game that, if you believe several very prominent internet leaks.
Nice segue.
Fortnite could be coming to the Nintendo Switch.
I think that's probably the biggest thing that Nintendo can announce right now, just because of the popularity of Fortnite. I would be stoked for it. I pretty much dug so I had stopped playing my PS4 for a while. I was playing my Switch until I got Fortnite on my PS4, and now I've pretty much been exclusively playing my PS4. I think the only other game I've played in 2018 on my PS4 was the remake of Shadow of the Colossus. That's pretty much the only other game I've played on my PS4 in 2018 so far. I'm kind of looking forward a little bit more to the games that Sony's going to be announcing tomorrow or giving an update on. So we have Final Fantasy VII, which I think, man, they announced that 3 years ago, and we haven't gotten an update since 2016. I'm hoping that they announce it by holiday 2018, that it's coming out. Probably not, though. Probably won't come out till 2022. I'm also looking forward to Death Stranding, Days Gone, and Last of Us 2. Last of Us 2, they released a trailer for it last July.
Ooh. I don't remember seeing that.
Yeah, it's like 5 years in the future.
Okay.
And I forget the name of the girl, the main character, but she's like grown up now, and you're playing as her.
Okay.
And then Death Stranding, I think, is possibly the most intriguing game because it's a follow-up. It's a follow-up to the Silent Hill game that Hideki Kojima, I can't remember his name, who the designer of the game is. His Silent Hill game that got canceled a few years ago. So that's pretty much what I'm looking forward to out of Sony. But Nintendo, I think Sean's going to be a little more
let's hear Sean's.
ready to talk a little bit more about Nintendo. We have Super Smash Bros. Dropping. A new Pokemon coming.
Yes, which is my jam, by the way.
That Pokemon's coming out November 19th.
Yeah, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee.
Which
both versions there.
Are you so far out of it?
So are you a Pikachu or an Eevee guy?
Pikachu.
Pikachu.
Like, what are we talking? Like, just
just because those are the two versions.
Oh, I mean, like Eevee, because you got choices, man. But
Eevee is like the long play. I feel like the Eevee is always like the long play. Like nobody wants to pick Eevee just because like right away, but then down the road that could be. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's always hard to pick which one you want to evolve Eevee
That's
into.
True.
But yeah,
that's why you just use a cheat code and dupe your Eevees.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen anything like that since the Red Blue days, but
fighting the glitch.
This game's like pretty. I'm really intrigued by this game because they're going to integrate Pokemon Go into it, and then it's like the original Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow like map. It's in the Kanto region, and it looks pretty freaking sick. I don't know how they're going to do the whole battle experience point thing, gym, Elite Four.
Is it going to be turn-based?
I don't know if it's going to be turn-based. I've seen there was some combat that was shown. We're going to find out more Tuesday.
Yeah. The rumor is it's going to be like part live action, part turn-based, so probably kind of similar to Pokemon Go in that regard. But Tuesday should be a really big day.
Well, we have Super Smash Brothers, which I think might be the biggest game that's going to be announced at E3.
So it's certainly the biggest in the esports genre.
Oh,
well,
absolutely.
That's true.
Unless Fortnite really does come out on the Switch, I guess.
I feel like Nintendo's kind of holding all the cards then, and like them having this last day, like they're gonna kind of get like the final word in for what's good with what's going on in 2018 in video games. They completely turned the video game industry upside down in 2017 with the Switch, which was completely unexpected with how bad the Wii U was.
Yes,
but
Nintendo was.
They were dying. Yeah, they were dying.
Yeah.
If not already dead. And the Switch, they had a great launch period with the Switch with Mario Kart, Mario Odyssey.
Played a lot of Rocket League.
Yeah, Zelda, Rocket League.
Yeah.
Like a lot of good games. And they're just going to continue on with that with a great 2018. I mean, they already came out with a Donkey Kong game this year. They had a port for Zelda Hyrule Warriors.
Yep.
And then
I just bought that. We should review it sometime.
I've played it for the Wii U. We'll talk about it.
All right.
But I mean, Smash Brothers is going to be the biggest game. If Fortnite is announced for the Switch, that's huge. This Pokemon game is going to be huge. Like, it's already it's sold out on Amazon twice. The pre-orders have sold out on Amazon twice, which is pretty wild. And then there's a Metroid Prime 4, which is going to be coming out, which we don't know a lot about other than they are in development for it. We might get a trailer.
I got a good feeling we're going to see quite a bit of Metroid Prime 4 at this E3 event because it's a very E3able type game with more than just, hey, this is happening, but actual like trailers, gameplay, maybe some floor demos, that kind of thing. I feel like Metroid Prime 4 could actually be a really big hook for this year.
It's just the one that like no one's anticipating right now because no one's talked about it beforehand.
Yeah.
Right. Well, nobody's anticipating it because they're too busy thinking about Fortnite. If Fortnite doesn't actually happen, I think Metroid Prime 4 maybe kind of moves.
Here's the thing: I think Fortnite has to happen on the Switch because it's happened on every other platform so far. It's on iOS. You can play it on your iPhone. You can play it on your Android.
Sort of.
Yeah, true. I mean,
it's
terrible. The gameplay is terrible.
It's a toned down
but
version.
you can at least play it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No offense to Katie Nolan who plays it on iOS, but it's love you, Katie, mean it. But it's not that's not how you play Fortnite. And I'm not even a Fortnite fan, but that's not how you play.
Absolutely not. No.
Still love you, mean it.
Okay, so E3, we're all excited for Tuesday, and I think last topic we wanted to get to, since we kind of talk movies every week, you guys haven't had a chance to see Solo yet?
No.
I saw it on Thursday. I was actually really surprised at how many people are kind of like down on it, and like there's not like a lot of excitement. It hasn't like sold very well. It hasn't performed well in the box office.
Yeah. Well, everyone was super critical after like the third trailer that came out.
Yeah.
And like I remember the first two. Was it the first two? We were stoked because there was like no real dialogue or whatever. It was just images and the music and the characters. Me and McKay freaking went nuts over those.
Yeah.
And then the trailer drops with Solo talking, and I think that turned everyone off.
Yeah.
But you're saying it's not as bad as it.
No, I
Guys,
wasn't.
let's just call it what it is, okay? It's kind of a fail right now, isn't it?
In the box office, yes. When you go to it, you're going to change your mind, though.
Huh.
I understand why people weren't excited about it because, Han Solo is one of the three defining characters in Star Wars that has been only portrayed by one actor.
Right.
So it's kind of a big deal that, you're introduced to this new actor who's supposed to be this young Han Solo. But they did, kind of introduce his story really well. How he got to where he was, him finding Chewie, which was I really liked that scene. Him meeting Chewie for the first time. What kind of led to him becoming a smuggler, and then getting the Millennium Falcon.
Are they supposed to make 3 movies out of this?
He's supposed to appear in 3 movies, so I think that he might be in the Boba Fett movie.
Okay.
And with the way that the movie ends, there is a cameo at the end that
You're not going to tell us who it is.
I'm not going to tell you who it is. It ties together all the canon Star Wars universe.
All of it?
Yes, and it's going to build stuff. It's bringing...
Is he dead?
A lot of people think so.
What?
Oh,
It's
snap.
bringing back a character that we thought died in the prequel trilogy.
In the prequel
In the prequel trilogy, and he's rumored to be back for another 2 movies.
Jar Jar Binks.
Senator Jar Jar Binks.
Senator Jar Jar Binks.
Get it right.
So all I'm going to say, not as good as Rogue One. It had a lot of really good elements in it. It had a heist element, had kind of a Western feel to it, and it had a war feel to it, which I wasn't expecting that.
Okay.
I give it, it's better than the prequel trilogy. It's better than any of them.
I could literally burp right now and it'd be better than the prequel trilogy.
I give it a solid B. B plus.
Okay.
B to B plus. Let's round up. I'm a good teacher. Student comes to me at the end of the semester. I'm going to round it up to a B plus. It's a B plus. I like it. It was fun. It's kind of kicks off the summer of movies that I'm looking forward to with Ocean's 8, the new Incredibles, Jurassic Park,
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man and the Wasp the week after that, Christopher Robin in August.
We're missing one more.
Oh, dude, I have the whole list of movies.
It's another Disney animated one.
They're doing a new Jungle Book.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. They're doing a new Jungle Book.
Hopefully
it's called
not.
Mowgli.
That's
but
unfortunate.
It's like Jungle Book but 3D basically, or whatever, computer animated.
So it's just like the new Jungle Book. It's just a sequel to it.
Yeah.
What we have, the new Lion King coming out next year. Here's what we have. Ocean's 8 came out Friday. Incredibles 2 June 15th. June 22nd Jurassic Kingdom. June 29th Sicario 2. Sicario quietly one of the best movies of the last 5 or 6 years.
Sicario was good.
Ant-Man and the Wasp July 6th. Skyscraper. Starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
No.
I am so excited for that movie.
I'm gonna watch that. Are you kidding
I'm
me?
so excited for Skyscraper.
No.
Anything he's in.
Mamma Mia 2, July 20th.
Mamma Mia 2.
The biggest movie of the summer, possibly.
Is that your jam?
Okay, I'll
Sean?
give you that. I'll give you that one.
MI6, July 27th, and then Christopher Robin, August 3rd.
We're missing one though. I feel like we're missing one.
Just in time to finish fall camp, though.
That's 9 straight weeks with big movies that are going to be coming out. This is going to be a good summer for movies, especially for those who hold Movie Pass.
Zach Hicken and I are going to be exercising our movie pass quite a bit. We need to get him on board with this.
We do. But
Wreck-It Ralph 2. Is that this year? That's the one I was thinking
I think
That's
it's probably
Thanksgiving.
not until Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's Thanksgiving.
Still, I'm stoked for it. I just saw the trailer.
Hema has to get stoked for movies that are 6 or 7 months out, so that
But
he
then
can
I don't see them.
so that he can then wait 6 or 7 months to see it.
So watch it. I'm a busy man, guys. I have offspring.
Dude,
He
you
has-
can take 2 hours out of your day to
He
go
has
see a
children.
movie.
He does have children.
Just tell
It's
your
true.
wife that you're working late.
He is
Turn off Find My iPhone.
He is currently the
And then
only
just-
member of this
And
podcast
how are
who
we gonna
has
pay
children.
for it?
Currently.
Currently.
No comment on the other end. But I will say, thanks for covering me last week while I was in Vegas, guys. I appreciate it.
But nice. Well, yeah, we've got lots to look forward to. NBA this week, it'll be great. We'll find stuff to talk about, even though there's no actual sports going on.
There's going to be a story in the NBA bigger than the Brian Colangelo story in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
But
always is.
Thank you for listening to Sportsbeat After Hours. I am Hema Hemuli Jr., Internet Jesus himself, Sean Walker.
Peace.
And Zachary Hicken.
See you later, eh?
Taysom fires it. Oh, dropped.